With your fastest indicator as to whether or not you think a potential relationship is going to work.
So I don't use this test for my own partners because I don't date men, but I do use it on my friends' male partners and my male friends. And the test is just a game of Pretty Pretty Princess. So the point of the test is just to see if they have problems with like toxic masculinity or adhering to strict gender roles, because those things aren't gonna fly. The most basic part of the test is just will they play it at all, because if they won't, that's an immediate red flag. The next part is if they do play it, how are they playing it? Are they having fun and truly embracing it? Or are they treating it as something silly or embarrassing? Are they acting like the idea of them in jewelry is this hilarious concept? Are they willing to pick pink or purple? And then we take a photo of them in the whole set of jewelry and see how they act about taking the photo, how they pose, and whether or not they would be ashamed for someone else to see that photo. And honestly, this test has not steered me wrong thus far.
With your fastest indicator as to whether or not you think a potential relationship is going to work out.
If you ask them to tell you what it is they like about you as a person, and all of the reasons they list directly relate to the benefits you provide for them, baby, it ain't gonna work out. All right, let me explain myself. Whenever someone genuinely values you in a relationship, they will view you as a separate entity from themselves, and they'll have reasons to appreciate you that are separate from themselves. Like maybe they love how passionate you are, or they love your strange sense of humor, or they love how ambitious you are. Those are qualities that directly reflect who you are as a person. Because if you can only value someone through the lens of what it is they're able to provide for you, that's an extremely transactional view of relationships. So this looks like a person who says, I love how well you care for me, or I love how you make me a better person. Because that doesn't really show honor and admiration for the person, it's just you appreciating that you can get your needs met through them as a vehicle.
Fastest indicator as to whether or not you think a potential relationship is going to work out.
My fastest indicator for a man is that he's not happy when he's broke. Like, because sometimes being broke is not in your control. And I'm not saying it's okay, but I am saying when you are unpleasable, just because you're not in a good financial situation, it makes it so hard to be around them. You know, like they are just unhappy. They feel guilty that they're not able to do the one thing that they are designed to do, by the way, which is provide. They feel guilty, so they won't let themselves enjoy being in love or romance or anything like that. Like, I've had a boyfriend that was broke when we were teenagers, and when I tell you he made a way, he really did. Like, he would find ways for us to enjoy each other's time. So if you're not going to still do that just because we're in a bad financial space, we can't be together. Like, I need to see you how you act when you're broke, because some of you are miserable without money. Miserable. And I just can't.
Your fastest indicator as to whether or not you think a potential relationship is going to work out.
You can tell a lot about a person by their shoes. You got your Converse, your Vans wears. They're down for the ride. They want to have fun. You might get in trouble with them, but it's going to be worth it. You got your Jordan wears. You want to do some hood rat things with your friends? They down. You got your wingtip, Cole Haan wears. They about they shmoney. You got the women who wear heels. They're about sacrifice. They will sacrifice pain for beauty. Needless to say, I met a guy one time and he wore these high top Adidas. And they look like boxing shoes. I don't even know where they sold these. DSW, Payless, I don't know. He caught me eyeballing his shoes one time and he automatically had to explain like these were his favorite shoes. One day we were hanging out at his place and I see a lineup of this same shoe. First I was appalled. The shoes was leaning to the side. I don't even know what was going on. Needless to say, he was nuts and a narcissist.
With your fastest indicator as to whether or not you think a potential relationship is going to work out.
Okay, I have a few of these. They all come down to play. Like if we're in different aisles at the Target store and you hear me from the next aisle over and you don't make some kind of dinosaur noise back, we're done. Also, if you tell me that you're going to Idaho, then I say, Idaho, and you don't laugh at that, what's the point even? I suggest that we get Christmas photos with us sitting on Santa's lap as full-blown adults, just crying and being sad. And that doesn't at least make you laugh. I'm breaking up with you. I'm gonna go find somebody who knows how to have a good time, okay? Even if that somebody's just me.
Your fastest indicator as to whether or not you think a potential relationship is going to work out.
I really think going on a trip with someone is how you know. And I don't just mean romantic relationships, I mean friendships too. I've had friendships end over just really bad trips. Not of the acidic variety, come on now y'all. I mean a vacation. Because if you take somebody out of their routine, their daily habits, their creature comforts. You get a chance to see who they really are. And sometimes who they really are is a fucking baby.
Your fastest indicator as to whether or not you think a potential relationship is going to work out.
I have a few. These are all from past experiences. A lot of guys have this perception of me when we first started dating that I'm always eloquent and very well put together. But when they get to know me, they realize I have about 3 outfits that I rotate on a continuous basis. And when I start to get comfortable, I will sing nonsensical reminders to myself. And there's a lot of weird dancing. If I detect even the slightest side eye in those moments, it's a wrap for me. Also, don't get me wrong, I definitely enjoy a nice date night. But if I get even the slightest indication that you are not able to hang over scotch and cigars in my brother's garage while he asks you to fix things with him, it's not gonna work. Also, if there's any inference or passive-aggressive nudge that maybe I swear too much, that definitely won't work. Oh, and if you make me feel bad for accidentally spilling something at your place, I'm out.
Your fastest indicator as to whether or not you think a potential relationship is going to work out.
Okay, so I actually think I have one for this. So fastest indicator on whether or not a relationship's going to work out for me is how impatient they are whenever we have to wait in any type of line. Every happy, healthy relationship I've been in, of course, that ended for other reasons, the person that I was with was really fine in lines. Like, it was like, oh, you know, whatever, it's a line, that's what, you know, whatever. But every person I've dated who's been really impatient in lines has ended up being a very toxic partner. I think it's a great indicator for how patient they are, but also how comfortable they are when they are not in control. And if they throw a fit when they're not in control.
Growing up, I was always told a tattoo should have meanings. So stitch this and show me your most meaningless tattoo.
I like breakfast. A lot.
With your fastest indicator as to whether or not you think a potential relationship is going to work out.
Ask them about Nicki Minaj. I always ask about Nicki Minaj. I used to mess with a guy, and I asked him about her. The first thing he said was, oh, her butt's fake, but she's really pretty. That was his entire take on Nicki Minaj as a fan of rap. And he turned out to be horribly misogynistic. I had another ex. I could never play women in the car without him clowning them, and he never really tried to listen to them. Or if, like, a guy brings up, like, oh, yeah, she owes Wayne her whole career. Wayne really put her on. Anything like that is a big indicator for me that they're misogynistic, especially if they are fans of rap. If you can't appreciate talent and artistry because someone's a woman in a genre of music that you like, you know what I mean? How are you going to treat me? Big red flag. Anything about her body, surgery, men, anything outside of talent. Now, if they say, like, oh, yeah, I'm not a big fan of punchlines, or I don't really like how she does it, but I like so-and-so, I like this one, that's different.
What's a piece of information that you learned that feels illegal to know?
If you have like 6 months to spare and you email IKEA and be like, hey, I think I'm missing a piece of this table set, slowly, one by one, piece by piece, month by month, you get that table for free.